Hello everyone, my name is Nicoya, and this is the Korg Minilogue XD, and it is here on my bench because it does not work, which is at least partially true. It is also a little bit filthy, but as we can see, not all the keys work. So that's not great. Now, it is also very filthy, which we will see in a minute actually has something to do with why this keyboard isn't working. And we can also see that some of the knobs are getting a little bit rough with their soft touch plastic. So I can actually show you what that's looking like. So I actually cleaned off this one already, but not this one. And as you can see, they are looking kind of ugly. So we're going to do this. I'm not going to show this part because it's just cleaning knobs. But I will show fixing the keyboard because that's the important part here. So first step is to get all the knobs off. And I will clean these off screen and bring them back a little later at the end. Now, the encoder knobs are their own separate knob, and these are actually in pretty good shape. I might not need to clean those. There we go. Now we have to pull out these screws here, and yeah, there's some screws at the front here. I'm trying to remember, I have this apart already to take a peek inside. So we will need a hex bit for this. That is definitely a 2.5. Now we're also seeing a little bit of mess on these screws here. They are not looking super fresh. That way, sorry. There's some corrosion on there, and the black oxide is not what it should be. So you might take a look at refreshing those too, if I have some patience to go through with that. So what you can do is you can buff off the corrosion in the black oxide, and then use a little bit of gun bluing, and that cleans it back up again. You can also see some corrosion along the length of these screws too, and so that's actually going to play into a little bit of what's going on in here. So that's all the screws for the faceplate, but we're still connected at the bottom here with two Phillips head screws. There's one of them. And there's the other. So the faceplate should come off now. There we go. We'll set that aside. So now that we've got this off, we can see that we are getting a little bit more corrosion showing up in places. We have lots of dust and stuff too, so that's not good. And the PCB that actually does the key mechanism is literally right under the keys, and it's facing directly up, and so it's a little bit prone to getting dirt and crap on it. And so when we pull this up, the keys up here, you're going to be able to see that. So to do that, we need to release, let me see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, I think. Yeah. Now, some of these grounding straps connect all the way to the bottom, and some of them only go to the next board down. And I can't remember which are which, and so let's see, the front ones are fine, and the back ones, it is this one. All right. So just peel that up gently, don't tear it. And now, I'll actually bend that out of the way so it doesn't short out on the back of the board. We can move that up here. And so you can see on the main board here, we're actually looking pretty clean. Thankfully, like the plastic cover here catches all the dirt. If you look at the back side of this board, you know, we're not seeing anything concerning on this. You know, this is just the controls and everything. So that part is fine. So we don't have anything to worry about on those two boards, and I just dropped an LED tunnel. Put that back in place before I get it lost. I'm going to take out this cover here and clean it because, again, it's really filthy, which is the story of this synthesizer, unfortunately. But to get to the key mechanism under here, we have to release the keys themselves. Now, there is, what is it, 2, 3, and then sort of 3. Still on, by the way. Screws, and they go into certain slots, but not other slots, and so sort of keep a mental map of which one they go in if you want to make things a little bit easier on yourself when you're reassembling. And of course, these are in 3 sections, and so once you get one section, you can actually slip it up out of the way. It just comes forward a little bit and pops out. All right, now remove the base section here just to save you a little bit of trauma, because the filth under the rest of these keys is kind of nasty. There's a ton of dust and grime and grossness built up here. And this is where I will tell you that usually all you'll need to do is peel these up. They're just stuck in with like little tabs that friction fit through the PCB. So to take them off, you don't actually need to take the PCB out, but to reinstall them to get those little fingers in there, you will definitely need the board out so you can grab them from the back side. Anyways, I actually pulled this one out already and gave it a clean. Oh, by the way, they are asymmetrical too. So on one end, the little nubs are closer together on the other end, and so it goes in that way. So I took these out, I cleaned them, and I can take, because remember that the low C was not working here, right? So we go in here, press against the low C, nothing works. The C sharp was not working, but the that key was working. And so I pressed those all with the low C pad on here. And so I know that these pads are working, but the PCB is not. And I took a real close look in here, and let me see if I can find it again, because there is a nasty bit of corrosion on the board itself. That unfortunately means that this board is, you could repair it, but repairing it is just kind of a nightmare. And so I did order up a replacement board. So we're going to go ahead and, I should take the tape off before I slide that out, but we're going to go ahead and replace this. But I'm going to see, actually, why don't I grab my phone and I'll see if I can take like a macro picture of this. All right, here, I think I can get a good photo of it here. But right by this diode here, which is right in front of the bottom 2 keys, which we just tested that didn't work, there is a bunch of corrosion right next to that, and it actually eats through one of the traces. And so what I am guessing happened here is, number one, whoever owned this did not keep it clean, and number two, kept it in possibly a damp location like a garage or a shed, or maybe they're living by the coast or something and they got salt spray in the air. But what that meant is that all of this grime that built up on here ended up, oh yeah, there's, hang on, I should take a picture of that section too. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's nasty. So there's a bunch of places on here that are corroded all to hell. And so, yeah, we're going to replace this board. It's going to be a little bit of a trick because I didn't realize that the replacement board doesn't already have the felt on here. There's felt on the case here, but there's also a felt on the underside of the board. So I need to transfer that to here. which is interesting, but we will deal with it. But first, I need to get this board out, and I need to clean this, and I'm actually going to turn this off now because we can see that we have some work to do. Oh, and also remember that the one with the high C is longer. So that one goes there. All right, be right back. I'm going to wash these. All right, so we need to get this felt pad off the back here and transfer it to the new one. And let me see what I can do about that. Might need to warm this up a little. I don't know how sticky the glue is still. I think we're gonna get lucky. You can order a new one of these felt pads, but I didn't realize that the new board wouldn't have one on it, so I did not order it. Okay, actually we're doing pretty good here. Yeah, this is coming up nicely. And luckily this is facing downwards, and so it didn't get nearly as much crap on it. Also, I will eventually vacuum up that toenail too. I think it got stuck down and didn't get vacuumed up the first time I tried. Ew, there's a dead bug stuck to that part there. No, I think it fell off. All right, so goodbye gross board. Hello, shiny and new. Let me see if I can open this without dropping this felt somewhere. It'll get stuck forever. That was a lot of bag for a little bit of board. Okay, now we just have to get this stuck down again. There we go. Looks good. So that's nicely stuck down. Try to reflect the light too much in your eyes there. And that will go in right like that after I clean this more. Ew. Jeez. This thing is filthy. All right, that is much more clean now. So obviously I disassembled this a little bit more than I was planning on to really get it scrubbed clean, but I blasted away the dirt with compressed air, cleaned up the remainder with some water, left a few insect eggs in there for that extra dirty super saw noise, and yeah, let's get this thing back together. So, didn't bother showing you how to pull this out because it's pretty straightforward. Make sure you actually get it back in there, right? Where did I put my screwdriver? There it is. So I'm just going to put two of these in loosely and then get the two screws on the back. Just so I make sure it's nice and snugged up. By the way, it's kind of fun. You can see like the four voices laid out here. CPU that controls it all. Some RAM there. And one screw left for this layer. And that's that in place. So next up, our beautifully clean new keyboard controller PCB. Let me plug this in first. There we go. It only goes in one way, so make sure you get it in the correct direction. There we go. And if I recall correctly, these are these screws. You want to make sure you don't crush these plastic nubs here. Get them lined up properly. Wait a minute. I need to put on these first. So let me undo this. So as with the rest of these are freshly cleaned. And we'll check which one is the longest. That'll be this one. So these two are on the lower register, and then this will be the upper register. And so the other way around. The goal here is to get each of these nubbins into their respective spot. And then once they are all massaged into place, flip it over, and we just gently yank on each of the things on the back side, and that just fell out. So let me not show you this so that I can actually do it successfully. All right, try number 2 from the back side so it doesn't fall out. All right, so that should be sitting nice and flat on the top. All the nubbins are sticking out the back side. They're all even. You know, don't pull them too hard. You can yank these right off. Then we do the next one. So maybe if you're smart, you'll do this before plugging the board in, but I never claimed to be smart. Man, I bet this is so satisfying in the factory. They probably have like some robot with like a multi-gripper on it that can grab all of these at once. And I've made these fall out. Dang it. Come on, get back in there. Oh, he's doing so good. I got distracted talking about robots with multi-grippers. What am I doing with my life? And yes, you can do these one at a time, but honestly, I think it's more difficult because they end up at an angle and pushing the little legs out of their own way, and it doesn't work all that well. So I tried that the first time. It was a pain. This seems to be much easier. There we go. Now that looks right. Got all of the domes back in place. Now we can screw this back down. All right. Now, I just realized that I forgot to clean the keys, and so I'm going to do that. All right. So these key blocks come apart in 3 pieces, and they snap back together pretty easily. About like that. You can see the 2 tabs there. And fun fact, the high C actually has a black edge on the white key here. And if you look at the lower octaves, they're not identical. I thought they were, but this one's on the lower register. It has the black edge as well. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, it's in the right order. And slip them under the, there you go. Slip them under the PCB on the front there. And line them up correctly on the back here. And once we get the screws in there, and actually the tab right here is going to be where we're aligning them. And if you remember, just slip them under the PCB. There we go. A little bit of water left on there. That's fine. So now we have the challenge of, first I got to hook this back up. So now I have the challenge of remembering which of these are screw holes and which of these aren't. So these ones are obviously screw holes. So we can start with them, make things a little easier on ourselves. And then I believe it's the horizontal ones. So that's no screw, no screw, no screw, screw, screw. Okay, before we get too carried away, I should make sure this still works. So, get this plugged in. I'd help if the audio is plugged in too. All right. Beauty. So we are done here. Now the auction listing, curiously enough, said that this was also playing out of tune, but it has a built-in self-tuner, so seems to work fine for me. So maybe if you have a better tuned ear than me, you can. I don't know, it sounds in tune. So let's get this back together all the way. Actually, is there a screw there? No, that's not a screw. That's a screw. Well, at least something's not too filthy on this. Should I leave that or should I wash it? I'm gonna wash it, plus I need to do the knobs anyway. Tell you what, I'm gonna put on my headphones and clean a bunch of knobs, and then I will finish up this video after I do that. All right, a little bit of a panic moment there. As I was cleaning up, I was tossing the old board back into this bag, and I noticed that a component was rattling around in there. And it was, in fact, this capacitor. Unfortunately, this capacitor had, I think, a dry solder joint on it, and at least on one of its legs. The other leg seemed to have been very securely affixed, unfortunately, and it got left behind somewhere. Anyway, this is supposed to be on the board. Luckily, I was able to salvage the one off of the other board, so I just baked it off of here with my hot air gun, and it is still in good shape, I hope, and I was able to solder it onto here. So, yeah, watch out for that little capacitor because it can go missing. Anyway, I'm going back to polishing my knobs. All right, that wasn't too bad. Knobs are clean now, And we can go ahead and put them back on. Now these stripes go opposite the flats. All right, now that we've touched every single knob, we've probably completely screwed up the preset. It's not all that bad. It doesn't sound like what it was before. Let me reset that. There we are. I like it. So hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you on the next one.